everybody. Hard to believe it's been another week now, hasn't it? Here we are for another episode of Baron After Dark, your friendly neighborhood Baron right here, entertaining you. We have our guest coming on here very shortly. He's running a little late, but that's okay. I'm here to entertain until he gets here. So again, welcome to the show. I am Baron Ormontag. This is Baron After Dark. And I trust everyone's week has been going by fantastic so far. I know that I'm sure the holiday season has kind of wore us down a little bit as we've gone along here. I know we were feeling it a little bit on the Kings on Sunday, a little bit more low key, a little bit, I hate to say low energy, but it was a more mellow episode, and we could feel the fatigue of the entire holiday season creeping up on us. Now, coming up in a few days, you will be saying goodbye to 2021, heading into 2022, and with hopes, the same kind of hopes that we had when we were leaving 2020 into 2021. So let's hope for a better year. We are ending in the form of entertainment a little bit higher, with movies like Dune, the Spider-Man movies getting great reviews. These are the little battles that we are starting to win. Hopefully, it will be having huge impacts in this war against the woke. But that's not necessarily why we're here talking. We're actually here talking today about our love, what got us into science fiction, got into science fantasy, what got us into comic books, what got us into games. Our little informal talk. One of the fascinating things is, it's hard to believe it hadn't been that long since I've been doing this in one fashion or another, be it sitting in a chat room harassing people, just like my cat here, Mr. Mouse, likes to do as he tries to get his cameo appearances in on the show, to moving on and actually doing a full on stream. And why? Why was it? What possessed me to do this besides pure, plain, simple, inflated ego, which I do have? And the whole community that we have here, whether it's just people that like to stay in the chats and have their conversations, whether it's people that decide they do want to start doing streams, and of course, chat, stream, all around, is such a wonderful, wonderful group of people. It is, I think, my guest who will be coming on here in a little bit, 24/7 Fusion Media, said it right that he has no fans. He has friends, he has family. And that is what we have become. We have become a group of family members. And this entire, well, shall we dare say, the battle of the woke. And we express, hail brother, hail sister, because that's how we view each other. I do have someone on there. I think I know who that might be. Welcome, old man, to the show. Doing a little bit of a ramp up here as we go. Hey, Zax, welcome to the show. I know I can always count on you to stop on by and harass me, keep me in line. Always good to see you, my friend. So getting back to the main aspect of it, why? And I was kind of thinking about it, and probably going to be doing a video about it here soon, about symbolism. And the big thing when you go into the heroic stories, of course, I always talk about the basically legend lore. Two words I'm sure people are going to get fed up with coming out of my lips, but these are very important factors in building stories. It's also symbolisms, and you find symbolism wherever you go, whether you go to a house of worship, a church, a synagogue, or whatnot. Go to our older federal buildings or even state buildings, and you'll notice all across these buildings they have symbols, and symbols are very important to us. So to expand upon that as we continue on, we are losing symbolism because a casual viewer, and there's nothing wrong with casual viewers, don't necessarily grasp onto these symbols that we have out there. The trouble is when you have those that are the casual viewers deciding to become casual entertainers and presenting us their entertainment, symbolism is lost. one of the best symbols there is in movies, coming from the old days. The bad guy wore the black hat. The good guy wore the white hat. You always knew who was who. It became unofficially those tropes that we had on there. Chris Gore, I was talking about this last week with the old Mexican Iron Man, making the example of the death of Han Solo. I have no problems at all about the Han Solo. I mean, that'd be probably a big surprise to everybody, but I know Harrison Ford hated the role. He wanted to get out of it all the way back to Return of the Jedi. And a heroic hero's death, if done proper, is a very powerful image in a film. Again, symbolism. Well, The Force Awakens came about. The Force Awakens, run by childish amateurs, and I'm not hesitating to even rein back on that. Again, the casual watcher, you might say, Jar Jar Abrams not being able to grasp fully storytelling and what's important. And excuse the language on this one, but the bitch death that Han Solo had, the hero falling to his death. And you never have that. The falling to the death is a symbol of the bad guy. It's like a symbol of the fall from grace, such as Lucifer in the satanic group that decided to rebel against God, whether you believe in Christianity or even Judaism religion or not. These are still powerful elements that you have on there. The fall is always, always a symbol of the bad guy. Let's take a look at our favorite Christmas time film, shall we not? And that, of course, is Die Hard with Santa Bruce Willis in there, providing the goodies to all of us children watching the films. And Alan Rickman, when his death came, how did it come about? Falling from the top of the tower to his death. It is always paramount to look at that. So when you have the children inside the studios, children that are writing the stories, those that are casual and cannot grasp what symbolisms are, well, our entertainment, our stories, our myths, our legends are suffering because of it. So that's going to be something I'm going to be talking about later on, probably in one of my videos if I ever get down to it. I've been rather a lazy boy. Actually, it's been a rather hectic week these last few weeks, needless to say, leading up to the holiday season, Christmas time, Christmas Eve. Now we got New Year's Eve coming. And guess where the Baron's going to be celebrating? In bed, folks. I quit doing that stuff a long time ago. A funny story. I like to tell the story about Y2K, the great 1999 going to 2000, how the world was going to end. And remember, turn off your computers before midnight, or else. And maybe I'll continue the story in as we come in, because I have in the green room, waiting in the wings. He is my best friend on YouTube. He is a man who gave me a chance with the Kings. My friend, the always outspoken and entertaining. It is 24/7 Fusion Media.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
I am alive. I am living. I am kicking. How about you? I hope you're feeling better. I know you've been feeling under the weather lately, but I trust that you are in better spirits.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm gradually improving here and there. But other than that, I'm just glad to be here. I was checking out your chat, and I say hail to Zax and hail to the old man.
Yep. There
And
we go. We're getting some
now,
people in there.
yeah, I was gonna say, and whoever else catches this along the way, like to say what's up to everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a great evening.
Rough Girl was in way too early. She thought the show was earlier. I saw that she was in here about 3:30. It's like, oops. I guess the show's not going on. And she says, I'm up. She's going to be coming in, so I hope she does. She is always entertaining to have. Interesting young lady.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
yeah. She's a good
So,
one.
she most certainly is. And I was talking about this. Yeah, we had 7 degrees with -12 wind chill this morning, Zach. Is it kind of how that was in your area too? I just got to ask you that. It was freaking cold here this morning too, and I tell you, I felt it in the old bones big time. But it's gotten better. I'm feeling a lot better now, and even more so that I'm in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, and I got you here, my friend.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
and you know, I just want to start reiterating, start off a little bit here to embarrass you, I guess, a little bit on this in a good way. But I'm going to start. I'm going to light this first. That's some good tobacco.
Go.
Yes, anybody who caught the show on Sunday, they saw me fire up my church warden I got for Christmas. That was my first smoke, and I saved it for the for the Kings there. So, no, I even forgot where. Okay, but how I first met you, my friend, is I'm going along and I'm checking my Twitter account, and -20 Fahrenheit where Zach's is. You
Wow.
can keep it there, Zach's. Keep it. I don't want it down here. Don't keep it all to yourself. Be greedy. And I open up my Twitter account and I see this DM that comes through in there, and it's like the 24/7 Fusion Media. And I'm sitting back going, "What the hell is a 24/7 Fusion Media?" I really honestly didn't know, so I answered trepidly. Answered it because you never know where you're going to get on Twitter. You know that as well as I do. You had you said you before you had fake Twitter accounts making parodying you and the like. And I took a look at it and it's like, wow, this is a really nice letter. And obviously, someone, I must have done something good to have gotten your attention. Going back and forth with our DMs. And then before we know it, we're doing on the text. And finally, I sat back and said, listen, I can't do this texting. We're both talkers. I
Right.
can't, trying to put it in there is just impossible. So, had the call, started talking back and forth, and, a couple hours on one, a couple hours on another phone call, talking from the whole range of comic books, movies,
Right.
video games, and the like.
Yep.
And, of course, really solidified our friendship. The fact that I consider you my brother. I mean, honestly, you're my brother from another mother
Yeah. Thank
on
you,
that
man.
aspect. And I'm honored and proud to have you as such. And you were so kind to invite me on with the Kings. So there I am harassing poor fat Steven Seagal and Vigilante Williamson every week, and vice versa. So they take their shots back. And when we had our conversations and such, you're talking about when you were growing up
Right.
and the like, and what really was that first thing that really gravitated to you to basically this geeky culture that we have? Was it comics? Was it a TV show? Was it a game of some sort? You're a little younger than I am, so video games was a little bit more when you were growing up than me when I was at those young ages of being, shall we say, shaped and formed. What was
Right.
that one thing that really you glommed onto and got you fired up?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. There was a couple things happening at one time, and thinking back, it was actually it would have to be the combination of Saturday morning cartoons, comic books, superheroes, and Star Wars. And I think with all those things kind of hitting on all cylinders all at once, of course, you had like you had Linda Carter Wonder Woman, then you had Christopher Reeve Superman out there, then you had the 66 Batman in rotation. So you had that along with the Super Friends and comic books. That was basically what pulled me in. And then again you had Star Wars, which was a whole force within itself. So I would have to say between all of those things, and then of course picking up toys. So within what you were reading, what you were watching, what you were playing with, as far as the action figures and all that, that was what everybody was doing. That's what everybody was talking about. You know, of course they had other things. You know, of course they had other fandoms and stuff going on, but it was between those specific things. So basically, it was always something that triggered me. You know, we was like I said, somebody, you know, toy I was playing with, cartoon I was watching, comic book I was reading, or you know, again, it was TV shows. You know, of course, and we also had the Incredible Hulk, and then we
Hmm.
had the Nicholas Hammond Spider Man out there. So yeah, there was quite a few things that were all going in unison, and you know, being a kid, seeing those things, uh, and if you know, and then you know, of course, you know, having you know brothers, you know, they were the ones that kept it around, you know. So when I got of age to understand what it was like, hey, check this out, watch this, read this, and it was just like I said, a combination of all of it. Uh, you know, but it was something else too. You know, growing up, uh, I don't know, I didn't know what a geek was, so that would definitely was not in the vocabulary. And then you know, of course, watching Revenge of the Nerds, I definitely wasn't that. You know, but you know, it's funny. I grew up real street, real hood, you know, all that other shit. But that was what I, you know, those all the stuff that I did was stuff that I was, you know, I was doing at home. And then
Hmm.
when I walked outside, it was like a whole nother ball game. Like you couldn't talk about that shit. So
So you're living kind of a two different worlds. A world at
right,
home where
right,
you're enjoying all this, and then out there you
right.
had to be a little different. Afraid of being made fun of, or people didn't
Nah,
understand, or
nah. Nah. I mean, you get your ass beat up, man. So that's really what that was. So it's like you know, you know, it's like it was you knew it was a time and place for everything basically,
Mhm.
and running around talking about comic books where I was at, that was not the thing to do, man. And I've said this before on my channel. Like it's not the first time I've said it. You know,
Mhm.
said it a few months ago that it was just how it was. It was just you know you know I'm at home playing video games, you know, hanging out with my little brother, reading comic books, cartoons, all that shit. By the time you know I laced up my sneakers, put you know dressed up and got ready to step out that door, you know. And then that was another thing too. Is like when I came home from all that bullshit, I left all that out. I left all that street shit at the front door, and I came in and
Mhm.
hey, what's up? You know, hey ma, hey pa, you know, how's you know, hey, how y'all doing? This and that, and go wash the dishes and help take out the trash and cut the yard and hang out with my little brother and do all that other shit. But you know, when I wasn't doing that and I wasn't at home, I wasn't talking about you know collecting this and watching that. You know, it's yeah, it was just you know, it wasn't being fake or nothing like that. It was just how it was, man. You know,
Mhm.
I wasn't living no double life or no bullshit like that. You know, because I was the same dude. It's funny because some of my friends would, you know, that would run the streets with me would come to my, you know, they come to my room, and they see nothing but fucking GI Joes and shit, you know, and all kinds of shit. And they'll look at me and I'm like what, like shit. I never got rid of my old shit, so I'd be like, you know, whatever, you know. So yeah, it was you know, it was one of those things. Zach says, what's special about this fellow is a guy that looks like a tank, used to be a bouncer, just can't wait for his Aquaman comic to show up. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was, you know, and, you know, it was one of those things that, you know, as I got older, and, you know, no one never questioned me or never fucked with me about nothing. You know, people let me be,
Mhm.
but I was never talking about all that other shit. You know, I'd go home and, you know, couldn't wait to pop in the new video game and shit like that. But you know, what's a video game going to do for you out there in the streets? It ain't going to do shit. You know, so
Mhm.
there was no reason to even talk about any of that when I was, you know, running around up to no good or whatever. So you know, that's it was. I left the streets in the streets and left the you know the home shit at home. So that was just what it was.
I think that's a very important thing you said earlier too. Is everything has a place.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, especially certain segments, the woke, has a tendency not to realize that there is a time and a place for everything out there. That too much of one thing can be too bad for you. If we go into escapism too much, we're lost. If we are in the real world, we're like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, all work and no play. Play makes
Right.
Jack a dull boy, and such. And knowing where they are, and we're still your own human being, but it's like, okay, I'm home. This is where I can enjoy. I can kick on my feet. I can, I can be the bouncer reading my Aquaman. And you're out in the streets. It's like, okay, this is where I'm a bouncer, but I'm not going to talk about Aquaman because they don't know jack about it.
Right.
Um, did your parents any help encourage any of this at all, or was there any interest
Nah.
in this? Okay.
Nah. My, give you an example. I've said this before. I remember, excuse me, when the Death of Superman came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was cutting grass. I was, kid trying to get it, and for all 5 issues, including the death, it was, it ran through like Action Comics, Adventure Comics, Superman, like the Man of Steel or whatever, and it just went through like 5 different titles.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the last issue was the Death of Superman with the black bag and the blood, yes, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I remember knowing that this comic book was coming out, and I couldn't afford to get it when it first came out. So we talking like the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks it's out. It fucking went up in money. So I remember cutting grass and saving up, and I spent $75 on those 5 issues. So that's back in like what, 93, 94, some shit. Spent $75. Yeah, I spent about I spent $75 in the 90s to buy all 5 of those issues. And I remember heading up to the comic book store. My dad was driving me, and on the way there, while I was there, and then on the way back home, all I kept hearing was how much I'm fucking wasting my money on this shit. And, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of money. I'm not going to get shit out of for my comic books. So that was the kind of shit that I dealt with.
Yeah, it's kind of that cross generational thing where at that time, they were still at that age where this stuff is just kiddie stuff.
Right.
You read it a couple of times, you throw it away. It's not going to matter much while you're holding on to it. I mean, I know my father had the same problem with his mother, with his comic book collection that he had. And I think even cards, he had some cards and such like that. And, and they don't realize at that time that, for us, for them, it's nothing.
Right.
It might be, but for us, it's a treasure. Memories and such, and we do like reading our stories over again, just like a good book. A lot of people learned how to read off of comics, so there's that special bond that they have with the comic books and such, and the heroes that they portrayed in there were, our grandparents were growing up with Perseus and Hercules and the Iliad and the Odyssey. We had Batman, we had Robin, we had Superman, we had. We had Iron Man. We had all those characters, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Incredible Hulk. Right. And even some of that, they're taking classical mythologies and bringing it into the comic world, such as Thor. And all the worlds that they have going on there with that, which is the genius of these people that were writing, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and all those in the day, Bob Kane. I have a middle block. Schuster, I think, is one, but the men who did Superman, created Superman.
Yeah, it's
I want to say Simon and Schuster, but that's a book company.
yeah, that's I think it's Siegel and Schuster. Siegel
and Schuster. Thank you. Right. I'm embarrassed to have that middle block on that one. When you started reading comics, what was that one that really glommed onto you at first? That I really like this superhero. Not necessarily that you identify with it, or so, because identifying with a hero is one thing, but actually, I like this guy and I want to follow this guy. Or
it had to be Robin. Well, as a little kid, it was seeing a kid. Of course, shit. By the time I seen Robin, he was already right before he turned into Nightwing. So it was actually it's just to see Robin, this this teenager, this kid that was on par with Batman to a sense that he was sitting there fighting nothing but fucking grown men every time he got into a fight. And I just thought that, him hanging around with the world's greatest detective, people would actually, it's funny, people would actually shit on Robin, but I was like, well, damn, he does, the only people he can't really outshine is the other people in the Justice League. But you talking about just average fucking grown men. He was smarter, he kick ass, he's punching, he's kicking, he's doing flips, he's doing all this shit. And he's hanging with Batman, trying to take down the Joker and the most lethal motherfuckers in Gotham. I mean, what kid wouldn't admire another kid that was on the level of Batman? He even saved his ass a few times to you'd sit there and he's like, okay, he's the leader of the Teen Titans. He's shit, what do you say when he's Batman's right hand man? It's like, come on, man. It's like, and he's still a kid or teenager doing all this shit.
Right.
It's like
protege.
Yeah, of course. And it's like it was to me he was pretty fucking cool, even though people used to, talk about how he dressed, that he only had the shorts and the shoes, and all that. But I didn't give a fuck about all that. It was just the fact that he was Batman's right hand man, and he was a teenager or a kid doing it. It was I was impressed, man.
Well, and more importantly, especially for the kids that are reading the comic books, I'm a big proponent of the fact that there are eyes into these worlds that
Right.
we're seeing through. And for kids, obviously, Robin was that. Speedy for the Green Arrow, Jimmy Olsen for Superman.
Wow.
So you always had these younger characters that are around, and for the kids reading the comics, these are obviously our eyes into that world. That we can identify with. Now we're seeing these heroes through these characters' eyes, and that's getting us immersed into that universe, that world that they have out
Right.
there. Kind of something that Marvel didn't really have. Marvel didn't really have team ups. I mean, I guess the closest you could have was the fact that you had your the Amazing Spider-Man, because he was a teenager that was a little, a nerd that was being beaten up, got bit by a spider, and now he has these superpowers, leaving that double life. But you didn't have those sidekicks like that with the Marvels as much as you did with the DCs.
Well, shit. Well, I don't know. It's like, I guess Marvel didn't have so much of the sidekicks. They had more like a wingman kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you had, Superman. I don't know, Jimmy Olsen. He was more like a wingman. I don't see him as far as being a sidekick.
No,
he was, he was always, in trouble. Getting saved by Superman, not really doing anything to fucking help. But then, DC was all about the sidekicks. Marvel had the wingman. Give you an example. Bruce Banner had Rick Jones. Captain America had Bucky. Bucky was a sidekick. But then
I was wrong on that one. Yep.
But then Bucky was a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
He just, Bucky wasn't, from what I understood, Bucky wasn't just a little ass kid. So I don't know. It was kind of, I was always mixed up about Bucky in certain ways, but and then you had like, if you look at the Avengers, like all of them, Thor and Iron Man, nobody had sidekicks. They had like a supporting cast, like fuck Iron Man. It's like they had was that Jarvis, the fucking
Jarvis.
butler. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you had little shit like that, or you would have like I give you an example, the Fantastic Four. They had like a little fucking robot. And that matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they had the robot in the Fantastic Four cartoon. It was more or less like it was like the equivalent of Clockwork Smurf or some shit, I don't know if you guys remember that shit. I know I went real back at some kiddie shit, but I don't even give a fuck.
We were doing a lot of Smurf talk last Sunday.
Yeah, I know, right? Shit. But it's like more or less like it's like more or less having like just an extra, to help out around the house or some shit. It wasn't really, or or someone that would, like an Alfred kind of individual, not a sidekick, but more of a, they'll keep the headquarters clean, or or they'll provide information every now and then, but they weren't the all around sidekick. They were, like I said, there was a supporting cast member, that was important to the character, but nobody that they would actually fucking run the streets with, like how Batman did with Robin, and Aquaman had Aqualad, and then you had Wonder Woman had Wonder Girl, and you have Green Arrow had Speedy. Superman, he didn't have no fucking sidekick. Superboy wasn't a sidekick.
No. I mean, maybe at the most when he teamed up with Supergirl, that may be about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, Supergirl with Supergirl, yeah, but she was more of an older. An older teenager, basically on the borderlines of being an adult kind of individual. Supergirl, yeah. So it's like, yeah, Marvel wasn't about that. I think Bucky was probably the closest thing to a sidekick that a Marvel hero of any kind of prestige any kind of real hero that Marvel had. Bucky was the closest thing to a sidekick to any hero. So that's to Captain America. And then of course he had like Falcon, which was like more of like a partner kind of thing back in fucking 70s and 80s and all that when Falcon came in. So I mean, but that's man.
Well, two different schools, because you're taking a look at when DC was started, which was of course in the late 30s there. Marvel started to take off in the 60s, so you had about a 30-year difference right there between the two. With I suppose a view take looking at Stan Lee identifying that, well, if we're going to start a new group of superheroes, we can't necessarily copy DC. We have to go our own way,
right?
And going on that direction. And the robot Herbie, I believe his name is. You know how he came about, don't you?
Yeah, Herbie. That's exactly. And I think I remember seeing that robot in the actual comic books, and then I remember the robot popping up in the Fantastic Four cartoon, and I think I own those cartoons sitting next to me.
And he was a creation for the cartoon series because they didn't have the right for the Human Torch. They had the rights to do all the other characters, but for some reason, the Human Torch was off on his own in another with franchisee or licensing. They weren't able to use him for those cartoons, so they had to come up with
so he was.
So he was Herbie the robot.
So he was a part of. He was still a part of Spider-Man: The Amazing Friends and shit.
I think so. I think exactly what we had going on there. So, so that's how he came about on there. It's kind of funny how so many of these characters that we do associate, because I see about Batgirl popping up. How many characters that we have included into our comic mythos didn't have their start in the comics? Batgirl was an invention for the TV show. You had Batwoman before that. Going back in the 50s, I believe. But Batgirl was designed for the TV show, the second season there. Herbie, of course, for the Fantastic Four. Harley Quinn, which is probably one of the most popular, I don't know, Daddy Girl issue, which I absolutely hate that they turned her into Daddy Girl issues. But, of course, for the animated series in the 90s for the Batman show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that the first issue of Harley Quinn's appearance is in the Batman's the comic book version of that Batman the animated series. They had the comic book version. I think it's issue number 8 of that series. Came out in the 90s. That was Harley Quinn's first appearance. Man, she's going for you can get it for a few hundred, or you can get it for a few thousand, depending if you're getting it CGC'd. If you get it.
Why didn't I buy that when I had the chance?
Yeah, actually,
about that time I started falling out a little bit of the comic book buying at that time, unfortunately. But boy, I wish now.
Yeah, actually, it costs a pretty penny to own. And I see an old man say, "What about Batgirl? Batgirl was never a sidekick. She's a part of the Batman family.
Hmm.
She's if you think about it, probably she's a little old. She's always supposed to have been like a little older than Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
But not so old. You can tell she's a couple years older.
Yeah, in her early 20s, she's living on her own. She's a librarian
Right,
uh, at Gotham City there, and that's the one thing that people have forgotten about her is that she wasn't a redhead. She was dark haired and she wore that redheaded wig to help disguise her. Of
right.
course, as it came along, people forgot that aspect. Now, she is now a redhead as it goes out there. Not that there's anything wrong with redheads, I tell you what. But that's not how the character was originally on that.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going to come about for this new movie.
Oh, God help us all. Again, like I was talking about before, it's when you have the children, the simpletons, the casual watchers that take over and start deciding to become the writers, the producers, and they forget symbolisms and the symbolisms behind all of that.
Right.
Obviously, the with Batman and Robin, that's like a full mentoring. You can get the gist that Batman has entire hopes that Dick Grayson will become the new Batman, and of course, we all know what happens. He becomes Nightwing, and
Nightwing.
then we had that little kid that came after that inspired this.
Yeah, I have that issue sitting next to me in one of these boxes.
Mhm.
The
I,
mint condition, the death of Jason Todd. Uh,
yeah, I only got one issue of that. I think it's issue number 3. I was never able to because he
oh, the
sold out.
third part.
So yeah, the number of the 4 issues, and because those things sold out so fast. You literally had to be there when the doors opened to get these, and I don't know how I got that issue. And I'm sitting
Mm.
back, I'm holding on to it. Do I really want to buy this or not? I don't have the rest, and that's why I was happy they came out with this ASAP on that one. But to show how much they hated uh, Jason Todd, how much they hated him. That's that they had to where you could do that. Call
Yeah,
this number and he lives. Call this number, he
yeah.
dies.
I remember my brother called in. I remember that shit.
What did he vote for?
Yeah, yeah. Shit. He was like, "Fuck it, let's see him get killed. Let's see what happens." And Lord and behold, it went down. But it's funny. I have 2 of those issues of the death of Jason Todd.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I own 2 of them. Yeah, actually, I have. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a 4-part. Yeah, it is a 4-part.
Yeah, it's a 4-part series. Hmm.
4-part series. Yeah, I own 3 of the 4 parts.
Yeah, and I only got the one, and I'm trying to remember. I got it tucked away. I can't remember. Maybe it's 2 or maybe it's 3. And maybe it's 2 I got. I can't remember. I don't know if I got the one where he actually did get toasted. But
Oh yeah.
it's like, at least I got one of them. And I'm happy at least that they came out with that little, almost immediately because they had to. There was the only way for people like us like me, that could actually read that because it's such a powerful thing. I don't think, when was the last time we had something that powerful in comic books?
The let me see. The death of Captain Marvel
Yeah.
was pretty serious. That's it's funny because I collect Captain Marvel, and
Mhm.
I probably still need to get maybe about 20 issues, maybe 25. Yeah, I think I have more than half of his whole collection. And what printing? Oh, well, I got first printings of my death of Jason Todd, death of Robin. I got in I don't know. Is your trade paperback, is that the first printing, or is it like the third or the fourth, or
Oh, this one?
yeah?
Let me take a look here. That is a good question. Let me take a look here. 1988, first printing.
Oh, there
This
you
is the
go.
first printing, 1988.
There you go. First
So I don't
printing.
know how many. Yeah, I don't know how many
Yeah,
printings they had
yeah.
of that.
Actually, they if I'm not mistaken, they got about 4 or 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
So
just
yeah,
think
I mean,
about it. Just think about it. From then till now, it probably went into about a good fourth or fifth printing by this time. So
mhm.
something that's easily about a good 30, 30 plus years old. Yeah, I could see it if it went into, because you got comic books now that'll go into a second or like even a third print or even a fourth print in some comics. So fuck yeah, that's yeah, he says great one. Yeah, there you go. You know, like I say, when it came to like let's say a hero's death at the like the world really fucking felt. Captain Marvel was the first. He was actually a very great hero.
Mhm.
He didn't his existence. He was only around for anywhere between 10 to 15 years. He wasn't even out that long. So he was out for a little over a decade. Uh, I don't even think he went 15 years. I think he went. I think he his from the time he was created to the time he was killed. That might have been maybe 13 years, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, so he breaks away from the Kree, ends up being one of the greatest heroes at that time. Not now when you look at him from all the way to now, you can definitely throw a shitload of other heroes because they have more history. A guy only had a 13-year history. I think within the 13 years that he was around, Captain Marvel, uh, Pacific 414. Great to have you here. But yeah, I was just saying that in order to you have a good night. Some to the fifth, yeah, and you're right. Some do have fifth printings. Old man, you sure right about that. But yeah, it's one of those things that within his 12 or 13 years of being a hero, uh, he became like basically bonded to Rick Jones,
Mhm.
and basically like how Dr. Donald Blake was to Thor, Rick Jones was to Captain Marvel. So whenever Rick Jones would see any, there was like any kind of trouble or whatever, he had like these two bracelets around his wrist that I think he would like clank together. And hey, rough girl, what's going on, girl?
Hey,
And
rough girl.
he said, "Dang, I almost slept through." I hear that. I'm glad you got your oh. You see that? You
What's
got a
that?
visitor.
Oh, hey, it's my Russians. I get to say, I get to say, Das Svidanya to my Russian friends. Goodbye.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
before I go here, I don't know if Pacific is still in here. I just want to do a little quick programming note. In a couple
sure.
of weeks here, Pacific will be my guest on the show on the 12th of January. So while he's here, I just want to make sure to do that little pop in there for him. And dang it, rough girl. Naughty, naughty, naughty. 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 So,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
so
not so. Like I say, when Captain Marvel died of cancer. So just so when people were hit with that one, it was pretty deep.
mhm.
And
Well,
then
well, Captain Marvel also had that indignity of having to have his name changed because of the different company. Because obviously, Captain Marvel was not a Marvel creation, and Marvel went out there and said you can't call him that no more. So it became fully Shazam.
oh no,
Is
you
that
t- no, you talking about a different person.
Oh, I'm talking about the wrong Captain Marvel. Okay, because I was thinking about I
No,
could be
no,
wrong.
no. The
And
Captain Marvel I'm talking about was the Captain Marvel from Marvel Comics. That's where,
oh, okay, when they
yeah,
did take over and did their own. Okay, my
right,
apologies
yeah.
on
He,
that one.
he he was created back in like 68, 69,
Okay,
and then he was killed off around 83, 84, something like that.
okay.
So, like I
I
said,
was,
he didn't too much have about a good 15 years of an existence,
yeah. I mean,
and
it made kind of the same thing. You're talking about the other one, Shazam. Where you had Alan Moore's Marvel Man in England, and they had to change it to Miracle Man because of that.
right, Yeah, that's and I collect the Shazam Captain Marvel as well. So I know about the history all too well, man.
Oh, I know. There's times when you can't have to give a little stink eye to Marvel. It's like just because your name is Marvel doesn't mean that you own that word completely, and that there were things that were around before you. So get off your high horse on that. Which is there? You have a preference with comic books? I mean, which group of heroes is it? Do you find yourself more DC, more Marvel, equal? Um, Maybe a different one, a third group.
What you mean? I'm sorry.
A preference for superheroes. I mean, which ones do you seem to want to gravitate more towards? Were you more of a Marvel person? Were you more of a DC person?
I
Uh,
would. I mean, they both have their good and their bad. But if
mhm,
I had to go with one, it'll be DC first.
DC. I have to be in the same boat there. I mean, I've always kind of gravitated to the DC world, even though you did have things like well, when I was growing up, I saw him live, the Spider-Man show in the '70s. Of course, the Incredible Hulk which was a huge, it was just
Oh
huge
yeah,
when
that
it came
yeah.
out, and I still remember when they did the Captain America TV movie, and he's
Oh
wearing
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
mask with
yeah,
the fake ears on it.
yeah. They had the ones in the '70s. He had like the shield that was in front of the motorcycle,
Right.
and then and he had a helmet on with the
Hmm.
ears. Not the ears. It was the wings that were like
The
drawn on
wings.
on the side of the helmet.
Hmm.
Actually, that dude that played Captain America. He was actually a pretty big guy. He, if you look, there was an episode of Three's Company, right,
Yeah,
where this bodybuilder guy steps in and he's trying to kick Jack's ass.
I remember that episode. That's him.
Yeah, it's him. So if
Holy
you can
cow!
actually, matter of fact, you could probably pull him. You could probably pull up that episode, like maybe a picture of him kind
Yeah.
of coming through the door, and Chrissy and Janet trying to like, he's fucking hiding out in one of the bedrooms, or he's in the fucking kitchen, and then he
Hmm.
tries to sneak around the house and tries to get out the apartment. And that dude was actually pretty fucking. He was big. I mean, like
Yeah.
bodybuilder big. And and if you think that was back in the mid '70s. That's exactly when the time they casted him for Captain America.
Okay, yeah, because I think he was dating Chrissy, and he thought Jack,
Yeah,
was
Jack was
messing
hitting it.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
Man,
mean,
hold
I,
on.
I love Three's Company. It's one of my one of my many guilty pleasures out there.
You got me here looking up fucking Google, man.
Did you?
Right.
Oh, do you know that there is a Three's Company channel on Pluto?
No, I
20
didn't.
24 hours a day. They have Three's Company, the Ropers, and Three is a Crowd. So they'll rotate through as you go through on that channel. You'll see those, just like they have their Happy Day channel, where you'll have Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Mork and Mindy.
His name was Reb Brown.
Yeah, yeah,
Reb Brown. Wow, what a name.
that is
Uh
amazing.
oh, he was
I
an
don't know.
American foot. I didn't know he was a fucking American football player. Look, now we get to find out all kinds of shit about this guy.
It's amazing when you start finding out what some of these people did. I mean, Thor in those that Incredible Hulk movies. He's one that later went on to do that. Was it Wizards of Waverly Place or something like that? Didn't even.
Wow, I didn't know he was
Yeah.
a part of the Hunter from the Future. Remember? I don't know if you
Oh,
remember.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was. I didn't know he was fucking Look at that shit.
Which one was that? Our Captain America guy?
Yeah,
Red?
same guy, Red
He
Brown.
was
He was.
your.
He was
Oh,
the hunt. It was 1983.
yep.
1983 cult classic. You're the Hunter from the Future.
That was when you were starting to come out with all your sword sorcery, sword science fiction.
I love those fucking movies, man. I
Oh
miss that
God,
shit.
I do too. Hawk the Slayer, all that fun. I mean, they're cheesy as all get up, but boy, were they fun to watch. What was it? Hawk the Slayer, I think had Jack Palance in it, and then the Beastmaster. I mean, Mark Singer and uh, I'm trying to remember everybody that was in it because I'm getting mental blocks on it. But I mean, you had a great cast in that one. Again, was just great, fun, cheesy movies that you just sat back and enjoy it. Eat that popcorn. We need stuff like that more. Enough of the Sharknado crap. Let's go with that. Just like Transers with Jack Death with Tim Thomerson, who was one of the best of the B movie, that group of actors that they had out there, along with of course Ash himself
Oh
with
yeah,
the Evil Dead. I mean, it's just amazing what they had on all these lower budget movies, and they knew how to make a film. Yeah, they might not have had the budget. Yeah, some of the actors were kind of hokey, maybe, and the sets were, but they were able to deliver a story that was entertaining. You didn't feel like an idiot watching it. That's just what or that you were lectured to, for that matter. And that's just that is something I do honestly think we need to get back to.
man.
Fun,
Actually,
fun.
uh, hey, pull up Three's Company, uh, season 4,
Okay,
episode, yeah, season 4, and the episode was called Ralph's Rival.
Ralph's.
Ralph's Rival.
Oh, was it? Wasn't it Ralph Furley he was going
Yeah, yeah,
after?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't Jack. It was yeah. It's been a while since I seen
No, no,
that.
no. I mean, but he did get on Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah, he stepped up. That's what I remember. Yeah, if you look at the pictures of how he was built, because you can pull it up on Google and then hit the images, and they'll show you pictures from that episode, and you see how he was built compared, looking compared to everybody else. It's like, what the fuck?
yeah. I better not be seeing anything like Fat Steven was with the Smurfs.
Oh no, it's not. This
Yeah,
is
I know. Let me take a look. I'm just taking a look. I only have. Oh yeah, here's a great picture. Let's see if I can bring this one up. So just bear with me a moment. I'm still playing around and learning the fun stuff because I love this one particularly because uh, there we go. And here we'll bring that one up. Does it showing? Let's see. Does it show? There we go. And there he is with Larry.
yeah, that's Larry. I mean, but if I mean, they had to have another picture. Like I seen, there's a bunch of pictures of him
Yeah,
just standing there, and you get to really see how massive this guy was. Like
yeah.
this guy was he was really fucking built, man.
Yeah. This guy was. Yeah, I remember this episode. I just didn't realize that was old Captain America. I'm just kind of looking
Yeah,
through. I'm not getting a good selection here
yeah.
myself.
If you put Reb Brown, Three's Company,
Okay,
and then you hit images, you'll see all kinds of shit, man.
you do this better than me. You know how to do these searches better than me.
Nah, just put
That's
Reb
what.
Brown and put
Yep.
Three's Company,
Yep. I'm doing. I'm just a slow. I'm a slow typer. I failed typing class, so.
and then hit images, and you'll see all kind of pictures of that episode.
Mm. Oh, that one's private, so we can't. Oh, let's see. Is this? Oh, that one's private too. You buggers. Um, I see some pictures of him now, um,
Nah, if
but yeah, I'm just looking through here for you. See what we got. Um, see, this is the joys of live streaming. You never know what's going to happen. Um, well, whoever this person is not wanting to share the. Oh, there we go. Let's see if this one will work. So let me go back here to my favorite StreamYards. And I hope my Smurf stuff didn't show up on there.
oh yeah,
Oh, I don't want that one. I want let's let's close that one down. You know what I need to do? My next investment will be a another screen. and their moniker they have.
Rough Girl said
Because
it's okay. Take your time.
I'll take my time. We're not. Are we in a rush? No, we're not in a rush.
Nah. Appreciate that, Rough.
Yeah. There we go. This one would probably work here. How's that one go?
Yeah, I mean, compared to I mean, it's decent. I mean, they showed a bunch of different, pitch where you could see him from like different angles, see how really big he was compared to regular men those days. I mean, he was huge, man.
Oh yeah, because I don't think John Ritter was that short of a guy, and look at him right next to our Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, so you you could look, you can just tell from his chest, man, like he fucking worked out.
Hmm. There is definitely a lot of muscles to that. I mean, he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I still wouldn't want to mess with him.
Yeah, you can tell he wasn't, and you can tell he was like six. He was 6 plus. You can tell he was
Hmm.
easily like a 6'2", 6'3" kind of guy. He wasn't no little fucking dude, man. So,
No.
but yeah, that was for you guys, his chest is big. Yeah, just let you guys know that's our 1970s Captain America right there.
Yeah.
So when you talk about old school Captain America movies from the 70s, that was him.
And that's the one thing I love doing is when you're going along here and you start seeing people that you recognize from the stuff that we enjoy, our science fiction, fantasy, and all of a sudden you start seeing them in another role. It's like, okay, you got me interested here. I want to see what you do in this part. There was something I was watching. It's like, hey, I know that. What was it again?
Yeah, it's
I'm trying
crazy.
to. Oh, I was watching Babylon 5,
Okay.
and it was the season 4, and the big war, the civil war with the Earth Alliance is happening, and Sheridan decides to break the blockade of Proxima 3, and the captain who's in charge of the blockade pops up there and go, honey, long suffering, come here, take a look at this, and she goes, I can't recognize exactly, and it's like, wait a moment, he turns, he starts talking, he goes. Is that the doctor from Scrubs? It's the old doctor, the old cranky doctor on Scrubs. That's kind of you have that false front of being your nice guy, and then he just berates everybody. I can't remember what his name is. It's like, yeah, you take a look, and there he is, and then it's like, I'll find out he's in a Star Trek Next Generation episode, the third season opener. Then he's in there as another character. It's like, okay, now we really want to start watching these episodes to see all these connections and the versatility that these actors and actresses have that they don't necessarily get the credit for at all.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. There's I mean, shit. I know, like shit. I was looking at Rough Girl. She was talking about Beastmaster. That's Mark Singer.
Yep, Mark Singer, and of course, went
Yeah.
on to do V and
Oh man, I love V. I got the whole fucking V collection. I got all the movies, the actual series.
yep,
And then I also got the rebooted version that came out about 10 years ago, and
yeah,
it only had like 2 seasons. And
yeah. Jace Hull did that show.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, man, the thing that pissed me off about that reboot
Hmm.
was they brought Mark Singer back, and the big question was, is he gonna be Michael Donovan or is he gonna be a whole nother character? Now, if he would have came back as Mike Donovan from the first V, that's what everybody was waiting to see. And the
Right.
fact that he didn't do it, it kind of pissed everybody off. And I think from that point on, the show went to shit.
Well, he only came in like in the last couple episodes of that second season, anyways, and ABC was already pointing nails into that coffin. They were not. They weren't going to continue on with that show at that time. They were doing a good job of finding that let's find a spot for it to die so we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I mean, Mark Singer was just incredible in the original V, playing that character. And I never really liked the TV show, that came after the two miniseries. It kind of, I don't know, it lost
You
something.
you talking about V the series?
Right, the original, yeah. So you had
Yeah,
the first V, the 3-part miniseries, and you had V, the
right,
final battle, and then
right.
after that they had the V series that they
Yeah, the
continued
series,
on with.
right.
And that one I never was able to really grab onto. It's just, I don't know, it just
Oh
didn't
man,
seem quite right. I mean, maybe I have to watch it again. It's been a while. But
Man,
the
shit.
new
I mean, compared to what's out now, man, if you get to watching that shit over again, you fucking you wouldn't be putting, you'd
yeah,
love it.
but Galactica 1980 is a lot better than most of the stuff they're putting out today. Let's just put it that way.
Damn, I got that shit sitting right in front of me too. Fucking
Oh, I know you
yeah,
do. I mean,
with
I
Lawrence Green with the mustache and the beard and shit.
yeah, the fake beard and mustache, yeah. And of course, my man Boomer. I love Boomer in that show. I thought Boomer was a great character. It was a great tag along for Apollo and Starbuck. It's like, sometimes when he's with Starbuck, you can kind of see the look in his face. What kind of trouble are you getting me into now? Type of thing. So I always loved that, and I love that he was in 1980 series. And of course, the best episode was that last episode when they brought Starbuck back. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. You really couldn't go much further with that show without that magic that Dirk Benedict.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like trying to figure out what the fuck happened to him at the end or whatever. And
Right.
yeah, matter of fact, I got that fucking series sitting right here in my hand. Yeah, they brought him back for that last season. I mean, yeah, for that last episode. It was called The Return of Starbuck.
Return of Starbuck, yep.
It says the fate of Lieutenant Starbuck and his final dealings with the Cylons are revealed in a dream of teenage genius Dr. Z. Yeah, I remember that shit. They had a teenage genius. And
Right.
he had like a wet dream or some shit about what happened to Starbuck. And we get to find out in a dream state episode that Starbuck kind of got shipwrecked or some wild shit. If I can't, if it's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah, he and a Cylon raider crashed on the planet. Starbuck named the planet Cylon. He came across a woman who was pregnant on that planet, and that woman happens to be carrying Dr. Z. That character we're talking about, the young schmuck, and Dirk Benedict or Starbuck was able to revive one of the Cylons and had him reprogrammed to be kind of like his, like a servant and his man Friday type of character around on that planet. And the voice for that Cylon was Gary Owen himself, the famed radio DJ and voiceover guy. You always hear his voice with the Super Friends back at the stately Wayne Manor type of stuff for the Super Friend animated series. So that was Gary Owen that did the voice of the Cylon in that series, in that one episode, I should say.
Well, hold on, because I do own some of those Super Friends, and actually some of that shit was voiced by the judge from
the Ted Knight. Ted Knight,
exactly, yeah.
Or maybe I was thinking that he was also playing one of the characters, the Gary Owen doing that. Of course, he was the announcer on Laugh-In. He was always standing there with the, doing the talk and before the show, during the segments of Laugh-In with the mustache and such.
Oh, tomorrow, Rowan and Martin's Laughing.
Yeah, Rowan and Martin's Laughing. Yeah, he was like the announcer for that show.
Yeah. See, now how would I know about Rowan and Martin's Laughing? See, you have no idea what I would really know, man.
I have an idea. We've talked enough. I know. I mean, I'll ask questions that I know answers to, because people out there might not. But it's a way to help guide the guests. You know what I mean? It's like Johnny Carson. He knew the answers to a lot of the questions he asked. It's just that you just ask the questions and let the people talk. That's the big important thing.
Rough Girl says the V miniseries was great, and I remember the first one, not the reboot. Yeah, the miniseries, all that shit was great, man. I love it. That shit's sitting right here behind me. It's V the original series, V the Final Battle. Damn, I got 2 copies of V the Final Battle. I got one in plastic. Yeah, I got one in plastic, and I got one opened and one not opened.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to have to start collecting some of these shows and all that. I don't have a lot of them.
It's to be honest, you'd be surprised how much you find some of the stuff is selling. Just going into pawn shops or looking online, dude, you can find so much shit that probably the last time you seen it was like 30 years ago or some shit, and you'd be so surprised that when you see it, it's sitting there. It's DVD. You can just go ahead and fucking buy it. That's why
Wow.
I told folks before. I said, one of the things that you're gonna find like from here on out is you make sure you get a nice hefty collection of DVDs, because one day DVDs are gonna go the way of the VCR. And you just think about how many times you used to look around and just see VCRs all over the place. And as you got older, like you don't even see them shits no more. VCRs and tape players. You
Right.
can't find a fucking tape player to fucking save your life, let alone a VCR. If it's something you don't already own, you can't just walk anywhere, walk into a store, or even a pawn shop that might carry old shit and just think you'll come across something like that. And I still have a lot of my tapes. I still have VCR tapes. I got a VCR player, and I noticed that it's just with me having over 10,000 DVDs, you definitely got to
And he
keep.
does.
Yeah, you definitely got to keep up. And I mean, right now you can buy a fucking Blu-ray player or DVD player. You can buy them shits for cheap, man. You can buy a brand new one for like $20. It's best that you have two or three around, especially if you have like your Xbox, your PlayStations. They play DVDs and shit too. It's best to keep all that shit around, just for the simple fact that you're gonna need something to play later when DVDs and DVD players are gonna be scarce one day. So, while you have some shit that you can just pop in a disc and you can just hit play and just play it, you're gonna need something that's gonna keep working. So you guys gotta stack up on a couple of them, keep them in the back of your closets, keep them up high in a nice cool place where they won't get damaged. And
And it,
you got to sit on that kind of stuff, man.
and it's very important too because we can't trust digital media out there at all. At a
Exactly.
whim, something can disappear. At a whim, something will be edited out because it's offensive, or they'll
Right.
redo something. It's just like books. Everyone's going to your tablets and stuff like that for books, and it's like no, no, go with
Mm.
the real books. They can't
Right.
edit that out. I mean, I
Right.
got a couple thick dictionaries around because, well, the way they just arbitrarily just change the meaning of the word and then try to tell you that's the way it always was. It's like, no, I have a dictionary here that goes back to 1920 that tells you otherwise. No,
Right.
that is not the meaning of that word. And look how they want to, change Mark Twain because they have offensive words in there and various stuff like that. It's like, if you, I was just kind of sitting back thinking about this all. It's like when you have gone out there and have sterilized it all,
Right.
and now you're having this fictional thing that there was no differences, that people of certain ethnicities were just on the same level, if not more, in these societies. It's like you're destroying history, and more importantly, you're destroying an important thing of the struggle where people had to fight to get to a certain position in life. And when again, now you're going with the participation trophy, and you're wiping away all the achievements that you had in the past for people. What does George Washington Carver mean anymore? If everything was all this, it didn't matter anymore. It was like,
Right.
what did it mean for having various other people in history and the achievements they made? Nichelle Nichols on Star Trek. What does it matter with her being on there anymore? Or Bill Cosby on I Spy? Or all across the board.
Right.
And you whitewash it, and I guess pun intended on that, across the board. You have now taken away a huge area of where people had to fight, they had to prove, they had to thumb their nose at some of the you know what would you say, the thoughts of the era,
Right.
and were these major stepping stones to what we have now. I mean, you wouldn't have all these players of multi ethnicities if you didn't have Jackie Robinson, right? Yeah, you had the White League, you had the Negro League. Here's a man who walked across, and now is showing that, hey, we can all be, we don't have to have these segregated leagues anymore, and the
Right.
like. And that is one of the disgusting things. And of course, if they start erasing it with the media, if they start erasing it with these digital books, At least we have that to show, hey, this is what it was back then. And I can show you in black and white. You can see the dates on there, and you can see that this stuff is not thrilled around with. Just like like that, death of the
Right.
family. I mean, I like to joke. I mean, I keep this off on the side when we do our shows. I haven't had a chance to pull it out yet, but this is my the first volume of restraining orders I have from the various females in science fiction. Let's see, Claudia Christian, Pat Tallman, all that in there. Actually, to be honest with you, this is the first one I got was from the Sci-Fi Channel, the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction Television,
Oh
which
wow.
covers wide. But then notice how small this book is. No, it's a good sized book, but it's small. I was lucky enough to come across the actual English version of the same book, which has a heck of a lot more things in there.
Right.
So I keep off on the side that when you guys are shooting your mouths off on the Kings, I kind of pull off onto the side and say, okay, what can I look to learn here and know what's going on here so I can sound like I'm intelligent and not the moron I really
Oh shit. That's a good one, man.
these are these things are very important, and the comic books. There are giants, there are titans, there are the gods of old that we have for our mythologies. I think you
Right.
sat back and said that Batman and Superman that was teaching you the morality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's yeah, like I've said before, the things that I learned about what was good and bad, you know, right, not to be disrespectful and then, but I didn't know the difference between good and bad from the Bible. I was growing up, family wasn't, into wasn't really religious or anything like that. So what I understood what was good and bad was what I was looking at, watching Star Wars, reading comic books, checking out the Super Friends and shit like that was when I understood. Hey, how you doing, the lovely Sherry? How's it going?
Stuck
It,
in.
yeah, there you go. And that was how I learned the concept of good and evil. It wasn't, like I said, not I ain't trying to be disrespectful or nothing, but it wasn't like I didn't learn it from Bible or anything like that. It was just knowing that the Joker's bad, Batman's good, Robin's good, Lex Luthor's bad, Superman's good. Half of them is trying to, steal some shit or kill somebody. The other half, is trying to save some lives. Make sure that nobody gets robbed and all that shit. So it's like you start learning the fundamentals of what's good and what's bad. I learned all that from comic books and watching cartoons, and I started understanding what was what from there. So that's how I learned.
And it's funny because those were the same things that people were set back saying, especially in the 50s and such, that these comics were going to destroy the youth. These comics were giving a bad image to the kids. It's teaching them bad things. Especially with the horror comics they had coming out there, which a lot of that came from Gaines from Mad Magazine, out of his company that was going on and doing those and giving us the comic code as well. But it's like that wasn't the case. It wasn't giving the kids these bad ideas. You didn't have them going around doing these horrible things that these horror comics had, because you still had the other ones out there, the Superman and Batman and Aquaman and all the likes that you had going through there. Captain, Shazam, Captain Marvel, Plastic Man, and the like, as well as the other ones, Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers. I mean, you had the serials off of that. You had the cartoon strips and the papers. Yeah, even Prince Valiant. Let's throw Prince Valiant in there. I mean, uh, all those that the kids were growing up and enjoying, and showing them that this is how to be. There are the parables, the fables, uh, the again the legend, the lore, the myths.
Right.
I mean, it makes you wonder if how many of these people actually cracked open these old books. I mean, right now, I mean, if you sit back and say, what my hero is at this time, I've been going through, and this is a bad hero to have because I don't consider him necessarily a hero, but I've been going through a Judge Dredd craze like you cannot imagine. I got that the collected works number 16, and now I'm going through all the other ones, and enjoying the fact again that these people that were writing Judge Dredd. Uh, hey, 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 what do we got here? I hope someone has brought rabbit chicken tacos. You are sunglasses man,
Uh,
according
Sunglass
to our.
man.
Hail there, Mexican Iron Man. How you doing, my brother from another interracial mother? Good to see you out there.
There you go.
Uh, but where was I at before Mexican Iron Man threw me off? I derail more often than Amtrak. I tell you, I'm getting dementia in my old age as we go along here. But I'll probably remember. You know me. I get thrown off easy as we go along.
Hell, Mike, how's it going, brother? Great to have you here.
It's always a party when he comes in, so I'm
Oh,
glad
there
to
you
see
go.
that he's here. Always glad to see him when he shows up, and I need to bother him. I need to give him a call and harass him on something here and there.
Right.
But oh yeah, Judge Dredd. And what is just amazing about that is the satire that they're putting through there, which of course, and again, is in their form of having a parable or fable, doing satirical look at the Britain using America as America in the future as the basis to tell these stories, and how well they do it, and weaving a world that feels so believable that this is truly the future. That this is you're not seeing these. Piss poor analogies and allegories. You're actually seeing some that's world building, and when they are talking and doing their satire, it's almost almost worldly understood what they're talking about. It's more such a generalized, even though they are pinpointing to little things here and there in the world of Judge Dredd. But very much he is an anti-hero. He's a fascist. He's trying to promote that fascist state, keep that fascist state alive, but it's just interesting to see how that character has evolved through since 1970. Was it six? Yeah, 1976. So I mean, he's been around constantly since issue number 2 of 2000 AD.
Right.
It's sad that we don't have as much in America of like the British comics when they were having their heyday over there, and of course, now manga is taken off because DC and Marvel have just fully put their heads up a certain orifice and refuse to see the sunlight.
Man.
At least that's my opinion. At least, boy, that I am the law. Yeah,
Rough girl, there you go. Yeah, that's some good shit right there.
yeah. But we've been going at this for a little bit here. We're going to be about 10:17 in the evening here. And of course, I like to keep these shows a little short, a little, like I said, very informal and such. Is there anything that you wish to pontificate upon while we're still on the air here at 24? Something that has wowed and amazed you lately, or something that you think somebody should look into seeing out there that's either comics, movies, or and I know you're. I also know you're in video games too. So anything with the video games.
Actually, I know back a couple weeks ago, I was talking about the movie Zapped with Scott Baio and Willie Ames,
Yep.
and got my copy here. And I haven't seen this movie in a long time. It was funny because I was talking to Rough Girl, and I was telling her like how when it comes to movie reviews and shit like that, you got you have a lot of, there you go, Zapped. Yeah, you have a lot of reviewers, even the ones like, let's say, like Critical Drinker and just even your best reviewers out there. They won't, they'll sit there and they talk about action movies, comic book movies, but they won't touch anything like a Bachelor Party or Zapped or
Right.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Like they won't touch, Revenge of the Nerds or or even the second one where they go to what's that? Spring Break, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. Revenge
Yeah,
of the Nerds to Nerds in Paradise.
Nerds in Paradise. Yep, that's like it's like those kind of movies, or fuck, even Porky's.
Yeah,
Like
Porky's.
and it would be some awesome shit if you actually saw, folks like Critical Drinker, seeing them on review and stuff like that. So actually, I might just really start considering doing reviews on all the bachelor parties and the zaps
Hmm.
and just all these movies out there, these comedies that Animal House and that nobody won't fucking touch.
Hmm.
I think these movies need to be brought back to the forefront, because if there's anything that's really dying out there other than comics, is it's comedy. And
Right.
that's a very big thing right now. It's like you have fucking, you got the director of the Joker. He won't, and he Todd Phillips fucking did what's that, the Hangovers. He did all three of
Yeah.
those movies. He did Old School. He did a bunch of shit. And the way cancel culture is right now, he will never touch another fucking comedy ever again. If the way things are right now. So it's starting to look like comedy is a lost art. That's why comedians are trying to fight for their say so, and saying whatever the fuck they want to say. And it's to the point where you can see it, because right now comedy movies are fucking, they're horrible, man. So
Right.
it's like, yeah, man, we can't forget about the comedies, y'all.
Oh, definitely not. Those are the most important things. I mean, people will talk about National Lampoon's Animal House because that was such a landmark. It's such a It changed the rules in many ways because he had a serious soundtrack
Right,
on this comedy movie. You hear about how what originally was going to be and how it evolved into the movie that you had there, and
right,
the great talent involved, and how that opened up doors to all the others. But
right,
they get embarrassed about it because they have boobs and they have guys
right.
acting like guys and this and drinking and all that. Hey, you know what? I think I got myself another Russian. Goodbye,
Yeah,
Russian. That's Vidania. And they don't want to hit that. But the thing is these films, I mean, like Risky Business, even though it wasn't necessarily a full fledged comedy, it had comedic moments and was very impactful. But yeah, Revenge of the Nerds, the original Police Academy,
oh
the
those, oh
first few of
yeah.
those, yeah. In fact, it's kind of funny. The first time I went on a serious date with the first date I had with my girlfriend, we went to see Police Academy 2 in the theater. And the other funny thing is Nerds in Paradise with Revenge of the
Right,
Nerds.
there you
I
go.
was down visiting my grandparents in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and my grandfather loved going and seeing movies. I mean, so he goes, "Hey, let's go see the movies," and that's one of the movies. He said, "Hey, let's go see this one." It's like, are you kidding me? You want to see this movie because talking about a very stoic World War II veteran type of guy from up here, German and Swiss
Right.
heritage, and he went to see the movie. I don't know if he fully enjoyed it. He loved Airplane though, and that's the other thing. I mean,
Oh yeah, Airplane. Yup, I got
Airplane,
that one.
Top Secret. Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, I
those
own both
films.
of those. Yeah.
The original Police Academy TV series, which
Hmm.
is far better than the movie series. Did you ever see that at all?
I don't know.
It
Did they
was
have
Leslie Nielsen. It was Leslie Nielsen, and they remember the muscle bound guy that was in Mission Impossible, the TV series. I have a middle block on his name, but he was usually the big strong man that they had on there that was always helping out Greg Morris with this or that on that show. He was in there. He was actually the role that eventually went to O.J. Simpson, and Alan North was the kind of the chief, the one that George Kennedy did in the movies. Basically, the
right?
same role that they had in there. So it was Nordberg, and it had Metal Block on the. So you had some of these people that were serious actors, just like Airplane movie was, going out there and doing the show, and what made it, just like the original Airplane movie was, They're going around playing it for serious, but they're also doing it for laughs at the same
Yeah,
time.
you talking about like Peter Graves and shit.
Hmm. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen a grown man naked?
yeah, that was
You,
yeah,
he swore
actually,
he swore he was going to go to jail for that part.
fuck. Yeah, I mean, there's there was a lot of damn good comedies. There was like Back to School with
Oh yeah,
Rodney
back.
Dangerfield. Yeah, fucking Ford
Hmm.
Fairlane. Yeah, there's a lot of movies out there, and the thing is, it's we can't forget about these movies. People think that good one, Rough Girl. She was talking about Naked Gun, 33 and a Third. Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
Naked Gun trilogy. Those are
right.
movies that if we don't watch them every now and then and kind of keep them relevant, man. People just they'll die out with the genre, and we
Right.
don't
And
can't we can't let Car Wash and all these other
oh,
Dolomite movies and all this other shit. We can't let all that just fucking disappear on us. Because that's a lot of what got us watching some of the actors that we have now, like Tom Hanks. It's funny because you see Tom Hanks. He's embarrassed the bachelor party. I'm like, come on,
well, he
man.
is.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. It's he's bad about that the way fucking Harrison Ford is about being Han Solo. He's just like, yeah, he's on some other shit, man. So they say if you ever see Tom Hanks, do not mention bachelor party because he won't fucking talk to you at that point.
Oh, don't tempt me. Now, if I ever run into him, I go, "Hey, I love you in bachelor party."
Yeah, and he'll tell you to fuck off, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, well, 24 did say, yeah, it's yeah. I'm just saying that's just how these people are nowadays. So,
Well, yeah,
um,
and there's nothing to be ashamed of.
yeah, man. I
Really,
mean, it's
honestly.
yeah, because I got two copies of Bachelor Party. Like shit. It's
I mean,
it's a lot of good stuff out there, man. And I'm huge on all your like young. Yeah, only y'all remember Young Doctors in Love.
yep,
Yeah, see, I'm see, you see, I'm
I remember
yeah,
that movie.
I'm
Yes, Lenny from Lenny and Squiggy, Michael
yep,
McKean.
yep.
Hmm.
I hate that he passed too, man. Fucking.
Well, no, Squiggy died, not Michael McKean. So, but yeah, David Lander passed.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah.
Not only that, and the Big Ragu died. The Big Ragu himself, Carmine.
yeah. Carmine. Yeah, I remember that. That's
Oh, he just died not too long ago. We're losing these people too.
yeah.
I
It's
mean,
just there's a lot of stuff. There's a movie I pulled out. Matter of fact, give me one moment. I know we're about to
yeah,
wrap it up here in a few minutes, but I
yeah, sure.
have to grab this. Hold on, I'll be right back.
We can go as long as you want. I don't care. I mean, I got my third, fourth, fifth wind and one cranky cat. Uh, as that goes on that aspect. But one of the bad things while he's out there looking for it, and I know I'm bringing up something he already knows, that one of the bad things about comedies for these people today is you have to make fun of somebody. There is humiliation. Comedy is a tragedy that we laugh at. And you can't do that no more. Oh, you're laughing at someone's foibles, or because someone looks a certain way, or this or that.
Yo, man, look,
That's what it is. Oh, there is. He's back. He's
oh
got
yeah,
us
I just
close.
yeah, it's not something. It was just something that I had to grab. It's like another movie that you guys, if you guys have never checked out, just something that's on some lighthearted, you know, other shit.
Hmm?
Now you remember Linda Blair,
Oh yeah. Oh, I think I know which. Okay, let me just hold off. Let me. What movie are you going to bring up for Linda Blair here?
Roller Boogie.
Oh, Roller Boogie. Okay, I thought you were going to bring in the one movie up where she was in with the unknown comedian. If you remember that film, I can't remember what the name of that movie was. Remember the guy that wore the paper bag over his head on the Gong Show?
Uh
And they did a movie with him, and Linda Blair was in that. So I thought you were going that
oh
way.
no, this is a Linda Blair movie. This is look, if you guys ever Google in and right now gotta you can look up some shit. Look up Linda Blair. She's the chick from The Exorcist that her head
Hmm.
spun around and she was throwing up all kind of wild shit. All right, now she has a movie called Roller Boogie, and yeah, look it up, Roller Boogie, and yeah, this is it's on some cool shit, man, and
Oh, Mark Goddard was in that too. Huh.
Yeah, it's an actual interesting fucking movie on some old disco shit where there's a lot of good music, people dancing
Mhm.
around. You know, of course, it's not raunchy like that, but it's kind of like a feel good shit on some old dancing shit. And of course, if you like roller skating, uh,
Mhm.
yeah, because they weren't rollerblading back then. They didn't even fucking have the
No.
blades. They had the real fucking roller skates. So they had the original roller skates on, and it was on some disco shit. It's made by MGM, and I got the movie
Mhm.
right here. So it's actually
1979.
1979. So you guys want to go check out some shit? Linda Blair's pretty awesome. Yeah, yeah, check her out, man. Roller Boogie.
And
Roller
the thing,
Boogie.
roller boogie, 2 words. And the thing is you don't have to have a film raunchy or anything like that to be absolutely hysterical or fun to watch. Um, as it goes, you have again, everything has its purpose, like you were saying before out there, and like one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite Clint Eastwood films, actually, is Kelly's Heroes. And you just take a look at that magnificent cast that they have in there. Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas. You had Don Rickles, Mr. Warmth himself. Carol O'Connor had a small part in that movie. Just across the board with that movie, and it was a somewhat serious but comedic film in World War II,
Right.
and or even the orangutan films that
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Clint
was
Eastwood, Every Which
what
Way
was that?
But
BJ and
Loose.
the Bear or some shit?
No, Every Which Way But Loose, and
Oh,
then
every
Any
which
Which
way
Way
but
You
loose. That's
Can.
right.
But
That's
that
right.
inspired B.J. McKay and his best friend Bear. Instead of having an
Yeah,
orangutan, let's have a chimpanzee,
yeah. I remember
which gave
those
and
movies,
gave,
man.
and gave us Sheriff Lobel, which had his own show for a while. That wasn't totally serious either. And Blazing Saddles, yeah, rough girl review, but I will. I have when it comes around to Mel Brooks films, of course, a lot of people like to do talk about, of course, Blazing Saddles, which is I think a good one. My I have a tied spot almost for my favorites is the producers, the original one with Zero
Oh yeah,
Marcel, Gene Wilder, Kenneth
Gene Wilder.
Mars.
Yep.
Yeah. Springtime for Hitler. I mean, just absolutely freaking hysterical. And Sean, oh, I can't remember what his name is again. Got a middle black who played the actor who played Hitler in that one. He actually played Jack Tripper's dad in Three's Company. But of course, the second one is of course Young Frankenstein,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. Yep.
and
That's a good
again,
one.
what a cast! Again, you had Gene. Of course, you had uh, Gene Wilder in there. You had
Did,
Madeline Kahn, Terry Carr, Marty Fillman, uh, Peter Boyle. You had
do you watch the History of the World Part One?
yeah, I like that one. I don't think it's as great as the other ones, but again, look at what they pulled all those people in that
Right.
film as well.
And
Uh,
have you ever
Gregory
seen?
Hines.
Yep, yep. Have you ever seen the 12 Chairs?
I have not seen it. I've been meaning to see it. I never have.
Uh,
I was told on a recommendation by Harlan Nelson, you got to see that film. It's like,
yeah. Well,
okay,
shit. And I'm the second person to tell you. I got it sitting right here in front of me.
yeah, I got to go
So
see that one.
and
I
then
hear that film is
and
absolutely. I hear
then
that's one of the secret classic of his.
right, and then there's the Mel Brooks silent movie,
Yeah,
and it's called The Silent Movie.
it's a silent movie, uh, and only one person has a speaking line in that.
Oh yeah. So and then
It was
of course,
Marceau.
right.
Marceau, the famed mime, was the only person that actually had a speaking line in that film, which of course is that okay, everyone who speaks is silent, and the person who's supposed to be silent is the person that says a line. And it was no.
It's funny. Right side Clyde the monkey would knock
Yep.
people out. Yep.
Yeah,
And
that
Rough
was
Girl says, Baron Orman Tag, I'm going to do the Dukes of Hazard and trigger the woke. You know what? Review Harlem Nights. I got Harlem Nights. Yeah, I got Harlem
that's
Nights sitting right in front of me. Yeah, that's a good one too. And then
Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Stella Reese.
right,
And
and then
that movie also inspired him to do the Royals, the Red Fox show that he
right.
unfortunately died on.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was
Hmm.
very unfortunate.
Yeah, it
You
was.
know, Rough Girl says she's going to do a review of Dukes of Hazzard. Look,
Hmm.
I got the whole collection, so if you're interested, hit me up for a couple of episodes. Because
What
I
is?
got the whole episode. I got the whole collection of the Dukes of Hazzard. I even have all the other movies like Dukes of Hazzard, the beginning. I got the one with Sean with um with the dude from Jackass. Fuck.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was like early 2000s or whatever. Now they're sitting back there saying, "I'm sorry, I'm
Right,
sorry."
right. And then so I got those, and then I have all the movies that came out after the Dukes of Hazzard, like Return to the Dukes of Hazzard, and
Yep.
then
Hmm.
there was another one where what's that, the Hazard Goes Hollywood,
Okay,
where
I didn't get that one.
yeah, there was one where basically Catherine Bach, Daisy ends up being a
Mhm.
stunt woman in Hollywood,
Okay.
and
Wasn't that going to be a pilot? Was that supposed to be a pilot for a
no,
spinoff?
not, it was actually a movie. It was actually a
Yeah,
movie. So
but
I
usually they do like a movie like that for a pilot movie and see if it'll take.
yeah, I have it. Let me see which. Yeah, it's called Hazard in Hollywood. I got it sitting here next
Has
to
it?
me.
I've
Hazard
never
in
seen that
Hollywood.
one.
Yeah. It's so they have that, and then they have a few other movies, and I have all of them, man. I have all those movies after the show ended, and
Yeah,
and then I have all the movies that they did around the 2000s and then the early 2010s. So I
right.
have, and those are like another 3 or 4 movies right there. So I own all that shit, man.
See, I when I was living as a kid growing up, the people that lived behind me, I was good friends with. They were the twins. They were twins, and they're from Nashville. So, needless to say, guess what? We always had to watch when it was on back at the time. It was Dukes of Hazzard. So, well, I believe it was like Friday night. I can't remember what night that was again, but yeah, there we were watching the Dukes of Hazzard.
Right there, you go.
Them Duke boys are in a heap of trouble now. You know, and what a
Yeah.
cast! I mean, you had James Best as Roscoe P. Coltrane. You had Sorrel
Oh
Brooks
man.
as Boss Hogg. You had Denver Pyle as good old Uncle Jesse.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
these guys were just phenomenal actors in their
You you
day.
know you know the actor that plays Cooter.
Yeah.
Look, believe it or not, he has his own YouTube channel,
Yeah,
and
I heard
and,
he
and
did.
yeah, and actually I'm subscribed to it. He has and what he does is um he actually plays he has a band, and
Hmm.
he does a lot of like live concerts, and you can go to like Tennessee and go see him, in different places and around the South, and him and his band still play, so you can get
Oh,
you some tickets somewhere, and then they've been playing for decades, and they still do their shit, and they have a YouTube channel showing that they do that and the YouTube channel shows the concerts and stuff like that they do.
I'm going to have to hunt that down. I remember back when Gopher ran for Congress in Iowa back in the day there. He decided he was going to run, I guess, for Congress in Georgia. I can't remember if he actually made it or not, but I remember when they were saying, yeah, here's another Hollywood guy, and this time it's Scooter from the Dukes of Hazzard. And so, it's good for a few late night jokes and such like that on there. But I
Right.
remember I got you on one thing, though. You didn't know about Enos, the TV show.
Right. Yep. Yep. You sure got me on that.
I figure if I ever get anything up on this guy, on anything like that, I have had a major victory, and Enos is my victory against 24/7 Fusion Media.
Oh yeah. There you go. Shit.
But yeah, I mean, you can't have that innocent fun no more. I mean, like I said, I have no proof at all. But nowadays with humor, all of this like we're bold sex jokes and and not even innuendos anymore. Innuendos is one thing. I mean, if you watch the old R.M.S. Brooks with Eve Arden, and in the day there, that show was 100% across the board innuendo. Or
Right.
even when we were watching the old Match Games and some of the other shows like that during the time, it was innuendo across the board, which actually takes intelligence to do instead of just being out there. But like Big Bang Theory and all that. All this, let's go out there, let's bang, let's bang. It's like it's tiring, it's boring. It's like you're beating this horse to death. Let's. What happened to having just silly, goofy, stupid fun like the Dukes of Hazzard? Uh, Talking about even you go into other shows like the old Bob Newhart show or even Newhart in the '80s are something as silly. Benny Hill, exactly. Ruff
Oh
Girl's
man.
absolutely right about Benny Hill. And
Yeah.
I would love to see his stuff that he had on the BBC because you know who Ernie Kovacs is, right? I'm sure you do. 24,
Yeah, I do.
right? And how he was, hey, low spec Linux laptop, how you doing?
Oh, what's up, low
And
spec?
how he saw how the medium was for television, and of course played his comedy in his show, uh, and using instead of being vaudeville and stage, this is now a TV medium. And he was instrumental in really kicking the door open on that. Benny Hill, when he, we all know him as that dirty old man running around, yakety sax, slapping the top of the head, and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that was his father.
Yep. But when he first started out on the BBC before he went to Thames, he had the same philosophy because he hated being on stage. He never, whenever he was doing stuff on stage, he was just it was miserable for him. And when the realm of television opened up, he had the same foresight that Ernie Kovacs had, except of course across the pond. And he was doing stuff on BBC television that they had never seen before, like where you had Benny playing four different roles at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time on the screen, which in the 50s and 60s, 50s at that time was unheard of. And it'd be so great to see what Benny had to do with any of those tapes. How much of his stuff survives from the BBC because we know how much of a schmucks they were,
Right.
destroying so much that they had. And yeah, Charlie Chaplin would never have made it and made it today. I mean, it's a miracle that you have the Three Stooges or the Marx Brothers.
Right.
Can you imagine them coming out today? They'd be, no, you're too insensitive. This sexist, misogynist, this and that. It's just, yeah.
Man. Hmm.
But we need good comedy again. I mean, I remember like in the late '80s, someone was lamenting the fact because I think they came out with a movie. It was Howie Mandel and I think someone else he was teamed with. It was like the first time they were actually talking about having a team up comedy duel, and they're saying that's the one thing that Hollywood's been missing is the comedy duels. I mean, yeah, you had like Pryor and Wilder
Right.
for a little while there, but as it goes, he didn't have comedy duels coming about there because so many of these actors and comedians were so egotistical they didn't want to share the limelight out there
Right.
and have to play off of somebody else. I'm the opposite. I mean, I hate being by myself when I'm doing YouTube and stuff like that. I love being with somebody. I love throwing stuff off of other people. If it's just me, it's like I'm lost. I need somebody. I enjoy spending the time with someone and talking with them. So I'm the opposite of
Right.
that. And that was that way in radio and all that in the day. But there is, and it's time. Let's get past the egos. Let's get back past being sensitive and listening to the Twitterverse because let's face it, the Twitter does not speak for this nation. Twitter does not speak for the entertainment
Right.
people that want to go out and see movies. Twitter does not speak for anything other than the blue-haired land whales. I mean, I use it, but I only use it for fun and for talking about the shows and the fellow YouTubers that we have on there, the family that we got.
Right.
But it's nothing serious for me.
Right.
It's that ground shaking. But so many people out there have already turned it in that way. It's like, screw them. It's not that important. What's this about?
What's that?
Oh, about the Mists of Avalon. Women win the show.
Oh,
Well,
the
Mists
Miss
of,
Babylon. That's
yeah.
wait, wasn't that a movie though? The of King Arthur?
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be taking place during the. It was based off of a book. I have a copy of it somewhere. So I can't remember the author right now off the top of my pointed head. And they did make a movie out of it. But it's like the Wheel of Time right now, where they took Richard Jordan's books and absolutely destroyed them because they had to feminize it all. And where again, it's like this was for specifically for a male character to do this and this. By changing that, you have now destroyed what the what the path of the story is all about. It is
Right.
no longer this story that he started off with all those years ago. Now, I've never read his books, to be honest with you. I know people who have, and I do see people on the out there talking about it and how they just absolutely destroyed the full meaning behind it. They was doing on that one, but yeah, the miniseries was definitely a woman's based, and the book was very woman based. And I think it was telling the story of Arthur, not Arthur, but Merlin in there
Right.
with that Prince
Right.
of Avalon. But of course, they have a very female centric, which is nothing wrong with that. No problems at all.
Yeah,
Those are
I own that movie.
yeah, and the Wheel of Time, right? Well, that's the kind of funny thing you talk about the books themselves. I remember a girl that was kind of seeing at the time. She sat back and said, "When is he gonna? When is she gonna finish this book already?" And at that time, it was like about 7 or 8 books at the time. And he goes, "When does he have an ending to this?" She was basically saying, "Are we going to see an ending? I'm getting tired of reading his books." So it drags on. You have to know when to say when on that. And about that, well, it's we've been on the air for about 150 here, so I suppose it getting kind of late there. I think people in the chat would probably want to go to bed or on to more interesting live streams. Ha 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 ha! And good luck. Good luck. And people are waiting for him to finish the his series, his book series.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the when's the win? Yeah. I gotta have Rough Girl on sometime. Rough Girl, will you be on my show sometime? It'll be fun.
Yeah, she's awesome.
This is the best live stream on right now, says Luke the Cook. That you know what that means? There's no live streams going on right now.
No, no, don't say that, man.
I'm kidding. I'm just having fun on that one. But yeah, we're starting to get to the late there, and we don't want to go too long. So, 24. Absolutely wonderful to have you on here. I want to have you on again. We can have this little chat back and forth. It's a little bit different than what we do with the Kings. So I like the different tone, the different the pace, the different atmosphere that we have on here. So I would like to have you come back. We can talk a little bit more. Get into the video games. We hadn't even talked about video games that you like. So
Yeah, we can do that. Of course, man.
so before we go, 24. Do you have anything going on here?
Well, I know I got a couple videos that I'm working on. I know Friday, which would be New Year's Eve, I will be doing my pre-show, and during my pre-show, I will be doing an unboxing of some very nice special gifts that Rough Girl has sent me. So I will be
Oh, that's right.
unboxing. Yeah, I'll be unboxing that, and then um, there was something that I was unboxing last Friday that I couldn't finish unboxing because it came in 2 packages and I didn't know it. So I got to finish showing off what I was showing off on Friday concerning Married with Children and show off the rest of it. So I got some Married with Children stuff that I'm going to show. Other than that,
I'm gonna have to hit that on the flip side because unfortunately I work, so I gotta definitely see what Rough Girl got you there.
yeah. Definitely check it out. It's some awesome shit. I haven't opened it up, so I'm gonna open it up on the air. I don't know what it looks like. I'm gonna open it up, show everybody, and we're gonna have a blast. And for Friday, I'll probably be on for about a good hour and a half or so. I'm not gonna ride it out too long. I know it's New Year's Eve. People got shit to do, place to go, folks to spend time with. And what I'm also going to be doing is, I know Rough Girl says that she wants to go live when the ball drops, like over in Times Square or whatever. And told her I'll jump on with her. So
Great.
so we'll be on Rough Girl's channel around that time when the ball drops for the new year, and then
Which
from
time
there,
zone? Which time
oh
zone would that be?
fuck, I don't even know. I mean,
Rough Girl?
I mean, we'll probably keep rewinding it and then keep going, 9, 10, and do all that bullshit. And then, for every little time zone. So I'm not sure, what it is. I know she's probably off on the East.
Okay.
But yeah, but we'll, but trust me, when we get to it or get closer to it, Bobby, till Friday, we'll, she'll give me the info on it. And then I'll definitely, throw it out there on Twitter and then, hit everybody up, let y'all know what's going on. Just going to go hang out with her and see the ball drop. So that'll be pretty cool. And then from there, we got the Primetime Kings on Sunday, which will be the first one of the year.
That we do. In fact, you're kind of beating me the punch, but here we go. I'm going to put that up so we have that for everyone to see. The Primetime Kings.
Yeah, that's going to be some good shit. Yeah, we'll be doing that. And she says we're kicking all time zones. Okay, well there you go. She said we'll be doing all different time zones, so we'll be hanging out, shooting shit and seeing what happens when the ball drops, and so that'll be that. And I'll just be dropping videos in between. Yeah,
I'll have to definitely lurk in there, and I have to get my butt on gear. I got some stuff I filmed up, but haven't edited yet, so I'm deciding what exactly I want to do. I've been a bad bear.
Yeah, I see.
So, but I'm going to have to go there. I'm going to have to harass in the chat section.
Of course, yeah, man.
And, party. I'll be working the lampshade.
Oh shit, yeah, man. And like I say, you guys check me out over on. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Please. Hopefully, everybody has hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. To Baron Norman Tag, he's a great guy, and shit, he got a whole bunch of knowledge to share with us. So there's be a whole lot of conversations that's going to be had for the future. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a good year. We got to finish off strong and start off strong for next year. So,
and I put in the chat. I put in the chat there my good friend here, 24/7 Fusion Media's YouTube link there, and go to him as well. Subscribe, like, and of course catch us every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time for that wonderful Kings, and of course his pre-shows on Fridays. You'll never regret.
Yeah, so Friday, right around 2:30 Central, I'll be going live, and like I said, I'll be going for about a good hour and a half, and make it short but sweet, and that way we can kick off the year the right way. And Rough Girl says that we'll get to watch her do her new dance called Rock Paper Scissors, so that'll be interesting.
I'm not going there.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, so
I'm hoping to be on, of course, our good friend Brandon, the anime guy. He's going to start his new program off on New Year's Day. He said it was going to be 10 Mountain Time, so 11 Central Time. So I'll probably be going over there to harass him as well. So he didn't learn his lesson the first time.
Yeah, actually. Oh, yeah. And there she goes. Shit, you're a good mod, Ruff. Look at she's bot. Got that bot.
You know what? You know what? Just a second before I continue on, Miss Rough Girl, I am welcome. You are now a wrench.
Shit.
She is a wrench.
Am I one?
To have someone. Are you in the group? You're in the chat. Yeah, I made you one last week.
Okay, well, all right. Well, then I'll be swiftly jumping on these bots from here on. So that's cool.
Okay, definitely. And of course, I want to hype the next week's show that I have on here.
There you go.
Actually, someone I just met the other week, and we had a great conversation. So I thought, hey, let's do it again. So it's going to be Captain Trek. He'll be joining me next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Same YouTube channel, same YouTube time. So we're going to be talking, and I'm sure talk Star Trek and other stuff on there. So I had a great talk with him on Baron Live when I did my little guerrilla program, and I'm sure it'll be a great talk as well with him there.
Huh. That sounds like some good stuff, yeah.
Yep. So, well, you know what? Again, I want to thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, man. I should be thanking you for inviting me, man. She's a good mod to have, yeah. Look, I would mod modesty. Modesty, yeah. There you go. Russ
I
awesome. So yeah.
She is, yeah, she's wonderful. And you know what? I'm going to have to find a way to get a hold of you so we can get together and do. I want to have you on sometime. We can have a little talk. You're definitely a fascinating young lady, and I think we'd have a great time talking. And yeah, you got that great power. So we have here, well, the new Marvel superhero, Rough Girl, because she's got
She's
great power
awesome. Yeah.
and great responsibility.
Yeah, she's
Well,
not. She's not hard to find. You can definitely find her on Twitter. So
yeah. So, and so I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us today. I want to thank, of course, again, 24/7 Fusion for joining me as well, and our new mod, Rough Girl, from Rough Girls Review. Joining, of course, 24 night next Sunday at 5 o'clock
there you
Central
go.
Standard Time on his channel. And, of course, Baron After Dark next week at the same channel time here. So, from all of us, I will let you say your magic word as we say our goodbyes here, 24.
All right, y'all. You guys have a great evening. Hey, great to have everybody here. Anybody checking out on the rewind, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. And I want to thank everybody for showing up. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll see y'all between now and throughout the weekend. So you guys take care and be safe. Peace. Yeah. Oh my God.